What's going on, guys? It's Jay the Black here. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. This is a classic example why people really do need to mind their business, just like what Jemele Hill said in that tweet that got her checked by Stephen A.Smith. Now, again, I know it's been a while since I've been put a video on this channel, but shout out to everybody that's here. I have to talk about this because it's very interesting how you have Jemele Hill, who lost her job at ESPN because I think of a couple of factors, but I think one of them was because she refused to be professional on Twitter. You work for a corporation, but you want to say things about the president that you know is going to get you issues with ESPN. I could see if you work for yourself or you work for an independent news organization, you can pretty much say whatever. They don't care as long as you do your job, right? But ESPN does, well, at the time they were allowing people to do certain things, but after a while they cleaned it up, right? Well, the thing about Jemele Hill is that she hopped on social media and she thought it was a very good idea to take a dig at Stephen A.Smith. This is a guy who she supposedly is friends with. And Stephen A.Smith had to check her. Now, this is the tweets that got her where she is. She said this was the first one. And she was responding to a video clip that was placed on Twitter. Arguably ESPN's most prominent talent admitting to help orchestrate a workout for Kaepernick. Yeah, let me go back to minding my business, guards. That's basically her taking a dig at him because I guess what she was doing for Kaepernick, which was nothing, got her let go. But she's like, well, how can Stephen A. Smith do that? Well, Stephen A. Smith wasn't talking about Trump and getting like and saying, you know, crazy things in order to get himself fired. He hasn't done that. Stephen A. Smith goes at people. He says things that people disagree with. He's entitled to his opinion. Doesn't mean I agree with a lot of things that, you know, Stephen A. Smith says, but he's entitled to his opinion. I'm not going to be upset because he has an opinion. Now, let's get to the second tweet. She says, someone, I guess, responding says, and what is wrong about trying to get Cap a workout? She responds, says, depends on if you consider yourself still a journalist or not. Now, that prompted Stephen A. Smith to respond by saying this. 1, I have a name. 2, it's your colleague and friend who's known you for years. 3, what I've said on many occasions on First Take and ESPN Radio that I was behind the scenes speaking to people in support of getting Cap back in the NFL. So what's the problem now? Happy holidays. Yeah, we want to know what the problem is. Are you moody? Are you feeling bad? Is everything good at home? The fact you have to get on Twitter and troll somebody who thought you was a friend who's no longer your friend probably. You lost a friend because you trying to be as woke as possible, but you're only making yourself look crazy. This is a woman that got a $5 million severance package from ESPN, okay, for being on a failing show, which was SC6. Okay, that show was a failure when I first heard the name and two, seeing how goofy they looked in those promo videos. But anyway, she was wrong for this, and she got checked, and she needs to get checked. First off, how can you, Jemele Hill, who've known Stephen A. Smith for as long as you've known him, not, speak to him privately if you had an issue? But for you to subliminally go at somebody who you've known, who you've been cool with, just shows how fake you are. I believe Jemele Hill is very fake. I think whatever friendship she had with Stephen A. Smith was fake. I don't think she was really that cool with him. Sometimes you learn a lot about people when you're not around each other anymore. And they haven't been around each other like that for a while. And now he gets to see how she truly feels about him. She doesn't like him, and she's probably never liked him. She probably talks about him behind his back. That's pretty much what she, is displaying. She's displaying an attitude of somebody who just has no respect for Stephen A. Smith. Somebody who he thought was a friend, but bro, I don't think any of these people are your friends like that. You know, you have to keep people at a distance. You can't let people surprise you. I think Stephen A was very surprised. You can tell by his response that he was very surprised that she would say that. I'm not. You know, Jemele Hill I think she only is loyal and is only loyal to herself. You know, she's the type of person who would probably step on anybody she could to get to where she wanted to be at. And I think now Stephen A understands this. This woman is still salty about no longer being at ESPN. When she pretty much did that to herself. There are plenty of female personalities on ESPN. I wonder why. I wonder why there are still female personalities on ESPN and she's not there. She's not there because she's so woke and she's so black that she got to go at Trump, the easiest target ever on social media. And she has to say crazy things about Jerry Jones and put herself in a situation where ESPN just had no choice but to let it go. You know, your network is losing subscribers, is losing money. You have to make a business decision. You really do. And I think that Jemele is one of those women who may be a bit of a narcissist. She might be one of those women who's not used to not getting what she wants. I think in that situation, she didn't get what she wants. She didn't get to stay at ESPN and say and do what she wanted to do. And I think she's never gotten over that. I think she sees what happened in her situation as an L. And it could very well be an L, even though you got paid very well to go away. But I think that if you really believed in this guy being your friend, why would you even say this publicly? I think Stephen A has to understand those people don't like you, bro. The woke crowd don't like you. You say T.O., you say you're cool with T.O., but T.O. blatantly went on TV to embarrass you, to disrespect you. And I know it bothered you because I saw Stephen A.Smith on his radio show after that situation happened. He was very upset about that. But Stephen A got to understand, you're going to be used, okay, as a tapping bag for these woke pro wiggity whacks on social media who are not really pro-black. Come on, T.O. pro-black, really? Since when has T.O. cared about having a black card? Seriously, when has T.O. ever cared about having a black card? Let's just think about that, people. Okay? Now, I want people to understand that you have a lot of people who've probably tried to help Kaepernick get into the NFL. Stephen A. Smith is probably one of those people who verbally vouched for him. And it may have helped, it may not have helped. But I see this as a situation that just shows you where we are. How you have people who look like each other, who are willing to step on each other, who are willing to turn on each other in order to gain likes and retweets and shares. And I know that Jemele Hill's still hurting about not being at ESPN. But you did what you did to yourself, Jemele. Just like with some of the other people who've been let go from the network because of various crazy things that they have done. You know, you have to understand that you work for a corporation. The fact that you're still upset about it just shows that, once again, you can't take an L and keep it moving. And for you to go at Stephen A. Smith just shows that there's jealousy there. I think that there is some jealousy there, because Stephen A. Smith is pretty much the highest paid on-air talent at ESPN. I know that bothers her. She can't see this brother winning. She wants to be where he is, and she's not. And I think that bothers her. I think that really does bother her. She's the type of female, the melanated female, who will work with other brothers and will act a certain way towards them because she doesn't want her Caucasian supervisors and co-workers to think that she's a part of them. Okay? I actually heard of a female who makes content here on YouTube who has spoken about how difficult it was for her to be cool with other melanated people in the workplace. But you speak on black consciousness. This is where we at. You so woke that you're willing to diss somebody that thought you was a friend. Stephen A., none of these people are your friend. I don't even know why you were surprised. Because it wouldn't have surprised me if you look at the type of people that we're talking about here. We're talking about somebody that lost her job because she could control her emotions and thought that she could get away with saying whatever, even though you work for a $1 billion corporation. You getting into Twitter arguments or getting into Twitter beefs is not something that's good for business. Now, maybe where you're at now, you haven't been getting into it with people like that. You're a lot more subdued. You could have done that at ESPN. Now, she may be tweeting the president. She may be saying crazy things. I don't follow her, so I wouldn't know. But all I know is this was the wrong battle to fight. You really want to help your people. You really want to wake them up. Go out there and be honest with them. You know, you really want to help Cap, then help Cap. But don't get upset at Stephen A. for doing something that you clearly had no interest in doing. At least Stephen A. Smith did something. Now, I will say this, though, as far as the political angle. People are going to say, well, you know, ESPN is against being political. Speaking on behalf of Kaepernick is not political. Getting on social media and going at the sitting president, that is very much so political. I think Stephen A. Smith just verbally vouched for Kaepernick. Jemele Hill, were you doing that? Or is it a situation where no one cares who you vouch for? And that's why you're upset.